Welcome to the Shut Up and Ride podcast, sponsored, brought to you, basically kept going by the wonderful Charles Owen. If you are listening to this podcast and you've not followed us, liked and shared it, why not? Sort yourselves out, have a word with yourself, take yourself to one side, let people know about us people. Don't just send me a message on Instagram saying how much you love it. Share this podcast. We've got Benji today and we've got a guest. We've got no Simon, Ben. We're going to introduce our guest in a minute. We've got no Simon because he is sunning himself in Corfu.
That's lovely.
Bastard.
He deserves it after badminton. Our Simi.
He should have taken us with him. He's on a hen do.
He's on a... Of course he is.
Of course he is. He's on a hen do. Oh, God love him. I hope he's getting some like pink tutu action. I really do. But we have a guest and I would love to chat to you and see how you are, Ben. But I have a feeling we've got a lot to get through in the next hour because our guest has shot to celebrity stardom in the last, I would say, am I right in saying about a month?
Less than.
We have had less than a month.
Yeah.
We've had so many messages asking for this guest to be on. She started the first, I'm guessing it's the first official in the UK alone. I'm sure you will correct me on that. Bridleless competition. Mia, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much. I know you are now the busiest human on earth, so thank you for coming on.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Jenny. And like, it means so much as well, because I've already said it, but I grew up watching you present and I always wanted to meet you. Like, as a young girl, I've always wanted to meet you. So I grew up on Horse and Country TV. That was my life. And here we are today. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And thank you, Ben, as well, for having me on your amazing podcast.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. And I'm sorry, I probably would be nothing but a disappointment. But it is very nice for someone to open saying they've wanted to meet me, not Ben. So up your arse, Ben. Thank you very much, Mia.
Yeah.
We know each other, so it was fine.
I think if you do liberty in this country, we're quite a small circle. Mia Rodley, founder of the Heart of Horsemanship, founder of the British Bridleless competition. I think it's absolutely phenomenal to have watched your journey from where you were with just Solo and Spirit to where you are now is phenomenal. And then
can I just interject there, Ben? Is Solo and Spirit horses? She didn't fly Solo with lots of spirit. I'm guessing they were kind of like your Ben's Malik and Mojo.
Yeah. Almost to the T. Yeah. So Solo was my first horse. He was an absolute cheeky monkey and is really similar to Malik in personality. And Spirit was my second proper horse, I'll say in inverted commas. And and he's still my super boy and love them both and adore them both dearly. But Solo's old and retired now and Spirit's getting a little bit creaky. So yeah, it's crazy how time flies. But yeah, it has been a really, really, really amazing journey. And it's been like, I've been saying to Jenny, like, it's just insane how this has blown up. And I was never expecting it to blow up in the way it has. It's so exciting and I'm totally here for it. But I thought I was busy already. And now this is like another level of mental busy. So I've had like at least 2 phone calls, interviews, podcasts a day, almost since the day that it's happened now. So it's just, worldwide as well. Like it's just blown up. I've had phone calls from numerous different countries now, and this is like global scale. So it's just like, oh my God, okay. So yeah, super exciting. It's broken the equestrian internet.
Yeah. So was this a planned? Had you planned out the stages? Planned to go out, compete in the neck rope, and then get the publicity from that and use that and go off the back of that to create the competition? Or was it just happenstance?
What do you think? It was entirely, I was like, I would like to compete bridleless. Let's see if some venues will have me. Only 2 out of like the, nearly 100 probably I emailed would allow it. And that's because I knew one of the show organisers because I helped her with her Grand Prix dressage horse a few years ago. So she knew me, Kerry Bishop at Western Lawns. Big up Kerry because she let me do it. and our local riding club down the road here, the Equestrian Club as well at Plumpton. And the first time I did it at Plumpton, it caught everyone's attention almost immediately, and an article was put out.
And
in
this
Horse and Hound.
unaffiliated.
Yeah, unaffiliated.
Sorry, Mia. Are these unaffiliated or British dressage competitions?
Unaffiliated because BD, it's against BD rules, so I can't compete under BD bridleless.
I just didn't want suddenly people bombarding British dressage venues going, Mia competed in dressage at this venue. I'm going
to also put my hand up and say I've been riding bridleless for 16 years and I'm really, really safety first with all my training as well. So, yeah, it's like I know. And like Boogie, my horse I did go and compete on, I've had from a weanling. His first ride was bareback and bridleless on the beach. And then he was started bridleless. Yeah, I know, it was good fun. We filmed it. I had a few of my closest friends there on the day as well. It was like this gorgeous, magical, perfect day, and it couldn't have been more perfect in every way. So that was like another dream lived. Went out to Plumpton.
This is how awful I am. When you were saying that, when you said we filmed it and we had and instead of friends, I thought you were going to say G&Ts. Because that is the only way I would start a horse from my days of learning and riding and producing horses in Ireland. There was many a time where I was in a field and I jumped on a horse bridleless and saddleless, but it was definitely after being in the pub. It certainly wasn't, we're just going to get on a horse and plan this for the first time.
Can I just say, because bridleless is becoming massive, and I know we're going to hit all of these topics, if you feel like you need to drink gin to have the courage to take your horse's bridle off, it's not time.
Yes, agreed.
It is not your time. Yeah, so then Kerry said I could compete at Western Lawns unaffiliated, so I drove all the way up because we're right down in the south now. We're right behind Hickstead, actually, so for all our horsey listeners.
Crikey.
And drove up to Western Lawns, dragged my best friend Serena along with me and was like, you're going to come ride some bridleless dressage with me too. Kerry says, yes, let's do it. And we both competed in prelim, and then I did a novice, and I think we scored pretty highly. I think both of us were like 65, 69%, and we were against bridles people, and in a complete normal competition setup. So that kind of blew up again, and every time we did it, it got bigger and bigger.
Did you pre-warn the judges you were coming, or did you just ride at them without a bridle? Because I can just imagine the judges sat in the car thinking, they've forgotten some tack, they're coming at me, are they going to stop? Did you have
to warn them? The judges, stopped us. They literally stopped us and got out the car and had a little conversation with us. And then we're like, cool, go for it. And the comments we've had have all been just gorgeous, lovely, complimentary comments as well. So, yeah. And that all kind of spawned from, because as Ben knows, I don't really actually enjoy competition very much. I much prefer the show scene, because if the horse doesn't feel like it, I can change it. And in a competition, I can't. So I have to canter at sea, whether my horse feels ready, even though I'd love another half 20-metre circle to get a little bit more bend and relaxation before I ask for canter. You have to do it there and then. And that's something I really have struggled with. I'm not super precise, really. I'm quite a fluid person. With my horse training, there to an element you have to be precise and thorough, but equally competition is not my style. And it all came from experimenting with some bridleless self-carriage on the neck rope with Boogie, and that's kind of been my own path and journey for the last couple of years. I just kind of had seen so many videos of people having their horses in self-carriage with no bridles and was like, how the hell do they do that? And so I just went about trying it. And it was so slow and incremental, I cannot tell you how painstakingly boring it was. But once your horse really understands, it is then truly about developing their own self-carriage, because my biggest lesson has been how much we ask for with reins when they're actually not physically ready to do it. Because when there's no reins, if the horse is flipping heck, I need to stretch and this is too hard, they do. You can't stop it. Like they're like, I can't, I have to stretch. So then you go, okay, like I guess you're not strong enough yet to hold that maneuver that I'm asking for in that frame and self-carriage. So you have to go back a step. That's all you're going to get for the day, and then progress forwards. And once I kind of worked out the process, again, I kind of got Serena in and was like, right, you need to learn this with Silas. So he was kind of the next horse we developed into some bridleless self-carriage. And don't get me wrong, we're only scratching the surface. We don't even know what we're doing. We've just played with it and got some nice results. And then I had, I teach a clinic at home every month. We have 3-day clinics once a month. I have a group of really regular high-level students. So we started going about teaching them and their horses, and they started getting the results. So it's like, okay, this works, and every shape and size and breed of horse can do it. Every rider, whether they work full-time, whether they're lucky enough to not have to work but have their horses, any rider and any shape or size of horse can literally do this. So that was then really inspiring to be like, okay, like this self-carriage stuff works. So once Boogie could kind of hold it in a walk, trot, canter, I was like, okay, let's go competing and see if I can actually do it in a competition setting and not just floating around my arena wherever I feel like it, So that's where it all came from.
Do you think that having done the demonstrations and performances with the horses and with Serena with her horse as well gave you the courage to say, okay, let's put on dressage whites and actually take this on the road? Because that's what I think, from having watched it, it is like the perfect storm. Like your passion for the bridleless collection, the experience the horses had so you could prove to the venues. It's like the horse world has been waiting for someone for someone to come across to sort of be the breakthrough that everyone's been looking for, and it's all worked perfectly. That it has blumming you, which is fantastic.
Well, and it's cool. Like, I know I'm a little bit woo-woo, and I really believe in everything happens for a reason, and the universe is everything, lines up for you. As you say, it's like just tick, 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 tick. Like Boogie and Silas, we know 100% are super safe. Like, you know what it's like at shows, Ben. You get like a marching band go past, and then you've got the fun fair next to you, and then a load of alpacas get led past, and those horses are going to stay connected with you no matter what. And really, that falls down to their Liberty Foundation. Like, first and foremost, is that I know he looks to me in those moments where he's like, oh, I'm not sure what's going on. This is a little bit scary. What do I do? And I go, don't worry, we got it. We're fine. And that same level of mental connection, attention, focus, gravity, whatever you want to call it, you can carry on into the saddle so easily. And I know, Ben, we're like singing from the same hymn sheet here with this, but it's literally so easy to just go, okay, we've got it on the ground, take it under saddle. You literally go from, I actually draw it on the whiteboard when people are like, yes, but how do I do it under saddle? And I draw a little stick horse and I draw a little stick human, and I literally put the stick human on the horse from next to them. And that's that.
So basically and this is the thing I think people haven't realised, maybe if they've just tuned into your journey, Mia, is you are a Liberty performer, you train the horses on the ground, you haven't just jumped on a horse bridleless and gone, you're not a rider who's suddenly taken off their bridle. You are a performer, you do it all on the ground, you are basically a female Ben. So I think that's where a lot of people are like, oh my God, I want to do this, but how do I take my bridle off? You've done the work on the floor. First, and that's how you can transfer it to it.
Exactly. And I've been riding bridleless since I was 13 years old. I had my first ponies, and I've been big in the natural horsemanship world for years. And, bridleless riding's nothing new to me. But what I found was that they either go hollow and fall in on the inside shoulder, and they kind of go around with their heads up, or they travel in a stretch all the time. And that's okay, maybe slightly better biomechanically, but equally, neither is really correct. And I was like, how the hell do I get this thing, this elusive self-carriage with no bridle. So that's what I went about trying to work out. And here we are. So we have a number of students now. Like on the day we had over 20 competitors. So I think there are 23 in total. Most people brought a couple of horses or were doing multiple classes. And 15 of those were my students. But obviously I can okay each person and go, right, you're ready. You're safe enough to do this.
So can I stop you there and just say, because I feel like we're bleeding into the competition. And I know it's been all over social media. Let's start. So we've got a bit of Mia backstory now. Let's have a bit of competition backstory.
Backstory.
How do you decide what competitions you're going to do? How do you come up with the rules?
Yeah. So there is actually a bridleless competition in Poland, and me, Sarah, and Serena were sat in a yurt at the beach on one of my beach clinics, and I literally woke up one morning and was like, I want to compete bridleless. Like I literally woke up, sat up, Sarah and Serena were still asleep, and I was like, I want to compete bridleless. And they were there when this idea was born. And I was then like, I've seen that competition in Poland. Me and Serena could go to Poland. Like, we've got an EU certified lorry. Let's do it. Let's go. We can do it. We'll go to Poland and compete. And I started trying to find like the information on it. And it's actually really hard. There isn't much information on it. I've heard from other people now, like in the last weeks, that it's notoriously difficult to enter. And then we worked out costings and we were like, flip, this is going to cost so much money to go to Poland to compete probably in 2 low-level classes and then leave again. So I was like, let's just do one ourselves. Let's just put one on. Like, there's enough students, we can do this. And then the idea kind of sat and didn't do anything. And it was only when me and Serena were in Africa together for 2 weeks, and for about 4 hours of the day, you're not doing anything. You're just lounging, and I'm not much of a lounger. So I was like journaling, drawing. I didn't bring a book, which was silly. And then all these ideas came flooding out about the bridleless competition. And I've got all the original scribbles of like how it was going to work, which classes we were going to do, just all in this little book, along with drawings of zebra and elephants and, you know, journaling about our day. And I was bouncing all these ideas off of Serena, and I was like, let's do it. And so that was January this year where I went, all right, we're going to do it. Let's do it. So first had to find a venue that would allow us. And luckily Merrist Wood is kind of local to us, and I've got a good relationship with them. They know we're safe, crazy. They know we're not dangerous. And then the next thing was insurance, because who the hell is going to insure that? So luckily I have a great friend who worked for Howden, and she put in a very good word, and I put in some very thorough risk assessments and how I was going to structure and plan the day to be safe. And they said, okay, yeah, we'll insure it. And I was like, cool, let's do it. So that was how the competition came to be. And then I was like, wouldn't it be cool to just run it like a normal competition, as similarly as we could, just to a straight up normal competition? So we did. And, you know, a few little things we changed to set horses and riders up for success. So we gave everyone 2 minutes of arena familiarization time before they had to take their bridle off to start their class, just to ensure that the horses were really settled in that environment. And that worked really well. No one could take their bridle off until the other horse had left. There was only one horse bridleless at a time. I was in the warm-up arena okaying everyone to say, okay, yeah, you and your horse are ready. I can see that your horse is calm, connected, and confident enough to go in and do it. So, yeah.
So, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. So does that mean, were people bridleless in the collecting ring, or was that not an option?
No, it wasn't an option.
And then there wasn't a running order. You sort of went as you thought people were ready.
There was a running order, yeah. So we had times.
Right, okay, cool.
the brilliant Tracy Duncan, who's an old colleague of mine, stepped up and said, I can help you with some stuff. And I went, great, can you help? And she did the times for me. So everyone had class times, and the morning was dressage. So we did intro to Grand Prix, and the afternoon was jumping. So we did, I think, we had tiny little Evie and Dexter go round with Jodie at about 30 centimetres to 1 metre 20. So, we had the whole range on the day, and it was busy. Like, that was over 50 classes to fit into one day. I'd said yes to maybe one too many people and stretched ourselves a little bit time-wise. So, that was, that's how we set it up. But in order for people to compete, they had to submit an online application. So it had to be a bit of a cover letter about them and their horse and why they want to do it. They had to show me 3 ways to stop in an emergency, bridleless, out of walk, trot and canter, and also a video of themselves doing the class they wanted to enter. So if they wanted to compete at 1 metre 10, I had to see a video of them jumping around metre 10 bridleless. And then from that video, you can gauge if someone is safe enough and has enough going on, like techniques and understanding and enough horsemanship, that if the shit hit the fan, they were safe, no matter what. So that's our biggest thing.
How many competitors on the day?
Over 23 we had.
And out of interest, were there a lot more people than that had applied?
We
that
had.
You had to then.
Oh, I think I had to say.
You don't have to say a number, because if 24 people applied, don't.
Yeah.
But like, there were more.
Yeah,
not everyone made it through.
Yeah. I had to, politely say they weren't ready, and I did give them some feedback on what they could work on to, say you can try again next time, and maybe get some support
feedback,
from an instructor.
Not quite. I was going to say sod feedback, not quite this time. But here's a link to my next clinic. Please book on.
Wouldn't it be interesting if? I always find it extraordinary. In some countries, you have to have a license to have a dog. You have to prove you're a good person to have a dog. You don't have to for children, which says a lot about the world. But there is very little policing when it comes to the horse world. You don't have to prove you can ride before you enter a competition. You don't have to prove you can do anything before you take your horse cross country or team chasing, eventing, one of the most dangerous sports on the planet. You don't have to send a video of yourself riding before you go for it. But it's so interesting that like you're doing it like this without, and I totally get. I'm very for it. But I don't know. Do you think it could be a way of improving horse welfare? This is literally just coming to my mind now. If everybody had to send videos of themselves before they competed, I know it would never happen, and just show your training at home, I think it'd be quite eye-opening for some places to see what people are like behind. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's see how good you are, your training, before you're allowed to compete. Do you think it would up the level for horses?
I think so. And people take it a little bit more seriously then. And, it's that first filter set apart a lot of people with like how good their applications were and how much thought they'd put into them and training and time. It takes hours and hours and hours and hours to train a horse to this level to be safe as well. And you have to 100% trust that level of training you and your horse have to set yourself up for success and be able, like, one of the biggest bits of feedback we've had is how relaxed and calm all the horses were on the day and how relaxed the warm-up was. But, okay, I knew a lot of the people there already, but there were a couple of people I'd never met, I'd never heard of, and they rocked up and aced it. They were insane.
Yeah.
So, and that was because their applications were so good. I was just totally confident that they were going to be okay. But
I think also people would be on their best behaviour a little bit more because everyone there knows they're going to be riding bridleless. So everyone's going to be bringing their their riding work, their horsemanship work to the absolute max, because you're taking it a bit more seriously. Like it's massively wonderful from a welfare point of view, but even just from, like, one thing I have when I teach it, a bit of a pet peeve of mine is the amount of people that say that they wish the horse would trust them, when I know damn well that that person doesn't trust the horse. And there's got to be a bit of a two-way street. Well, now you start playing around bridleless, that's a two-way street. Because it's your training that's going to help you when, if it all goes sideways. So I'd also wonder if a byproduct of the deliberate trying to make a step forwards for horse welfare and alternative horsemanship in the competitive world is also that everyone is that little bit more vulnerable. And so you're not going to, kick one more than you would. You're not going to ride more aggressively to try and get those sharper turns in the jump off if you're not capable of, technically.
More thought. It basically boils down to your thinking before you're doing. So you're thinking before you let these people in an arena together. You're thinking about how your training is before you go to a show. I think one of the things here, Mia, as well, is even just going back to your first dressage test in front of people, and the people entering the competition. And we are trying to improve horse welfare and go on this journey. And how do we do it? Is bridleness going to improve horse welfare? Is this going to, whatever it is? But also, when you take yourself on a journey like this and you put yourself out there as you have done, you're also putting yourself up to massively fail. Like, imagine if in that first dressage test your horse had fucked off and jumped the judge's car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so, there is so much, and all these people who have entered, it's very brave taking that step to do stuff a little bit differently. So you have to be so careful that you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's. But when it does feel like a lot of the time with horses, we do stuff and we go, oh, well, it was the horse's fault. Whereas with this, if the horse does it, it's your fault because your training wasn't there before you went to the competition. But no one would ever say that with a bridle if a horse bolted. They'd be like, oh, it's just so strong. It's just so strong. I think it is amazing because you could have buggered it for everyone if on that first dressage test you got pissed off with, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I said. Yeah. And like moving forwards for this, it would be really easy for someone to bugger it for all of us. And that's the terrifying part because like Ben, you'll have had it when unfortunately a show team had an accident and all of our insurances went up. So like everyone across the board, and shit happens. I know, horses can unfortunately make very poor, they don't have decision making in those instances, but if we had an accident happen at that competition, ain't no way any of us being insured to ride bridleless again. It can happen at a normal competition with a bridle and they're still covered. So there's so much to unpack. It's incredible. It has literally opened Pandora's box. All these questions. I wasn't expecting it.
You were brave because no one else wanted to stick their head above the parapet and do it. Because people, once you started advertising the competition, I got asked a lot, like, Ben, what do you think? And I was like, at first I was like, I'm nervous, because it has to go well for all the reasons you said. But then when I saw also the marketing and the videos and everything on this, spot on, beautiful. The way you put all the videos out explaining the rules and the way to apply. Once I saw that, I knew I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Because I'm sure you've had it as well, Mia. I've had talk clinics where a student turns up that I've never taught before. And they say, oh, I want to work on my bridleless. And I'm like, cool, have you got bridleless? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, okay, show me what you've got. And then you watch some person do the wall of death on a little fat Connemara. And you're like, oh, you've not. Like, you thought you had, but you don't. Yeah. And so I think that the application process and everything, so sensible, such a good idea. And I think it is just amazing. One thing I have to say that has annoyed me a bit with it is when I've seen some people being like throwing some shade at the competition and stuff for things like saying, oh, they had reins in the warm up and that sort of thing. And it made me so angry because I thought so one of the things we've done with this podcast is really try and champion change in the horse world. We've got some big names on and put them in some pretty uncomfortable positions, being like, come on. answer. And then what really disappointed me was people like, but they had reins in the warm-up. I'm like, fucking hell. Everyone competed bridleless. We don't build Rome in a day. Like, we have to go, like, I'm sure that in the future there will reach a point where if you're doing, Pre-St. George, Grand Prix, dressage, or if you're jumping, in the higher levels, those competitors probably will be trusted eventually to warm up together bridleless. Like, come on, you're at that.
Well, to be honest,
if we were performing at the same place, we would warm up bridleless together because we both know that we're going to be fine.
Yeah. And to be honest, like the warm up on the whole, everyone was riding around just on the buckle. Like they had reins on because they had to have reins on. They weren't using the reins in the warm up. And I know that we would have been fine bridleless in the warm up. I know. But for insurance, they were like, hell no. Like that's got to be like that can't be a thing.
And it annoyed me because I was like, no, half these people have said they wanted change in the horse world. Change has arrived, and it turned out they didn't want change. They just wanted something to moan about, didn't they?
It's really funny because actually the traditional world has kind of accepted us with open arms. I've not heard hardly any grumbles from the traditional horse world. It's actually been the real left wing of our world. And unfortunately, the plus R trainers again. I'm like, fuck's sake. Stop having a go. I use positive reinforcement all the bloody time. And like, so do most of these students. Like, all right. So, and I know it's not true plus R. Yeah, I know. I can do all the lingo. I know all the science. Down to the hormonal level changes that happen in horses when you give them treats. I totally get it. But, like, guys, we're trying. If you want to go have a go watch your local show jumping and have a go at them. Like, we're trying here. And luckily, I've not really felt very affected by the negative comments. I feel that we've had overwhelmingly positive comments, like probably 90% are positive, and we've only got the 10% that people are trying to pick it apart. Oh, they're wearing bits in the warm-up. Oh, yeah, but these horses were trained in bridles and then they've taken them off. So that's the part that's been interesting to watch unfold. Is the reactions.
I think interesting is a very calm word. Like, when I've seen these people, it's annoyed me. Just when people are like, oh, it was trained in a bridle, I'm like, oh, cool, does your horse not count because it was long-reined before you rode it? Mm-hmm. Like, what's the...
Yep.
And like you say, the R+ people, you cannot ride purely R+. You cannot.
I don't know what R+ is.
You should do. We had Caleb on.
Yeah, is that just the words for
operant conditioning? I'll go get my whiteboard. Hang on.
No.
Is this just another fancy way of saying positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement?
I listened.
Fancy Liberty pants.
I listened to your Caleb one. He's like the Australian male version of me as well. I love Caleb. I call it subtractional reinforcement. So there's additional because you're adding something, and then subtractional is you're taking away a stimulus to reinforce a behavior. So subtractional and additional. That's literally what I think we've got it on a podcast of mine. So because you're taking away, and I wish they'd never done positive negative because of the conversations you guys had as well. Totally agree. But yeah, so unfortunately, we have got some flack from the very left field, but it's fine. It's like, we're trying. I know in my truest being that I didn't really go out with this intention, but the ripples or like waves that have been caused from this are now helping shift and change the sport for horses. And as you guys have said, it's kind of like the thing that needed to happen, and I had no bloody idea it was going to be my thing. Like, but every reel I posted just would go viral, and I was like, oh wow, okay, that's a bit crazy. And I post the same videos. All I had was videos of Boogie and Sealass at Western Lawns competing bridleless in Callum's sister's second-hand hand-me-down dressage jacket, might I add, because I only competed in working equitation, so I only have tweed jackets and don't have a dressage jacket. That's how little dressage competition experience I had going into this. And
I think
and then
we should change that. If anyone's listening to this and wants to sponsor Mia with a really fancy kick-ass dressage outfit,
Callum got me one for my birthday. He got me a really nice jacket for my birthday. And then Horsey Hoods have sponsored me and given me a gorgeous competition set. And and Wow Saddles have got me a fitted saddle for Boogie as well. So very, very big shout out to those brilliant brands supporting me to make me look like I know what I'm doing. That.
None of us know what we're doing, Mia. I'm sorry, but no amount of good dressage tack and bridles and coats is ever going to make anyone know what the fuck they're doing. And that's what I love about this, because it feels like we're unpicking tradition that has not done right by the horse for a few years now. Dressage and show jumping has become so extreme and so big and so about money that something needed to change. And I feel like whatever anyone thinks about this is driving some kind of change which is better for the horse. How we do it, what we do it, it's all experimenting at this point. But if we are sparking conversations, what I really love was Lynn McLeod, the dressage
Line MacLeod.
So MacLeod, there you go.
It is McLeod.
Oh, okay, good.
When she competed in France for the Working Equitation Championships, because I know Lynn from Working Equitation squad days very well. I remember when she first got Hermes, but the French pronounced her name Line MacLeod, so that's what we call her now.
That's her stage name.
Sorry, Lynn.
That's her stage name. Like Ben's is Titty LeCamp. So things that got my back up to things that I liked. Things that got my back up is the putting her dressage test below Lottie Fry's. Okay, Lottie has been on her own journey. She loves her horses. Let's not fucking start slagging Lottie off. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I disagree with you on this one.
Oh no! Let me go somewhere with it. I'm waving my arms around. Okay, because I have never been trained in Liberty or Bridleless. Yeah. I went on my horse journey in Ireland, learnt off people. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'd have met you guys in my early 20s, this is the journey I would have gone on. But people have been on their own journey. That's the way she's been taught. That is what she's been told is right. That is how to be competitive. Okay, you can only open people's eyes to certain things, but I don't think we need to slag off other people to do things better. But the comparison is great in the fact that look at how this horse can go to look at how this horse can go. This does look more relaxed. Is there something the dressage world can learn about it? Do you know what I mean? I don't think we need to slag Lottie off to get this to be achieved.
Well, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, sorry. It was just unfortunate that was the video that was chosen. You know, it could have been, I don't want to say any Grand Prix rider, but it could have been as a comparison.
Yeah. Why don't we pick a couple that are assholes? Let's compare those ones.
Yeah.
And I am very defensive as well because I love our sport being at the Olympics. I love seeing horses at the Olympics. I love proper competition. So I don't want to get to a point where people are going, oh, this is our only way forward. No, let's all go forward together. Let's not slag off anything. So if we want to progress with Bridleless helping top level horses and any horse, we can't be an us and them. We have to work as a team and not be slagging people off.
Yeah, and I think I'm very much about that as well. I don't think I've ever slagged anyone off, particularly online. In particular, never. Even when I've been really hard done by, I don't put anything online. But
don't worry, just come on here and slag people off. No. We do it all the time.
But it's I've always been one to just lead by example, and I really want to inspire people, and people won't change if you point the finger. If you point the finger, people get defensive, their backs go up, and they shut you out. I have created 100%. More change with, say, my really traditional horse friends I've created more change by sparking a little bit of curiosity. And then they go, oh, how did you get that result? Or how did you teach that? And suddenly, like, all the flash nose bands come off. And then suddenly they're walking around in a rope halter. Or, you know, it's really funny how, and their show jumpers are parking up to be mounted now rather than having 3 people manhandle a rider on. You know, it's these little changes in general horsemanship and you know, again, working on your connection with a horse in all the things of horse life, you know, not just riding bridleless. It's not about that almost, but the bridleless competition has opened the doors to all of this conversation. So it's just
100%.
Yeah, it's so amazing. But I agree. I struggle with the comparison videos because I feel awful for the person that's, you know, in the comparison. By the way, guys, I didn't post that. It was someone else. And actually, oh, Ben, I bet you'll laugh at this. I shat my pants when I saw that she had made a reel about the bridleless competition and my phone wouldn't load the video because we don't have good enough service. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, okay, it's positive. It's okay. Don't worry. Whew. Like, because she does quite a few comparison videos and, you know, is known for pushing the boat out with that.
I think I would say, can I just ask Mia a question? Because I'm pretty sure I know your answer on this, but I could be wrong. Because the idea of promoting the bridleless competition isn't to one day never have anybody use a bridle. Like, it's to, and I would say that's where I would say, I think making videos that compare traditional dressage to bridleless dressage just to bully traditional dressage is wrong. I think comparison is fine. And if the public say they'd rather see it bridleless, even if it was at a lower level, I think that is fine. And I think that would be a consequence. That is the consequence of federations not opening doors to more things sooner. Because what I don't want to see is people trying to get bits banned. I love Roman riding my team of 6 in hand, like, and all that stuff.
You need bits.
But I would like to see the door open. I would like compete in that bridle with a bit if you like, but also bitless. Bridleless if you can prove you're competent enough. Do you know? Yeah. We're not. It's not looking for. Do you feel the same on that, or are you like full? We should all be bridleless.
No. I still ride in a bit and a bridle as well, every day, you know, on my own horses, on training horses. I really think that, you know, okay, Boogie has been my one kind of project, and, you know, Boogie was started bridleless, but he can wear a bit. He can be ridden with reins. It's not as if he's been this perfect, precious child of never wearing anything. But I did stop wearing a bit nearly 3 years ago now on him to experiment with this grand plan of, can he go to, like, how high can we go without ever putting reins back on him? That's like my own personal challenge. I'm not telling everyone else to do that. I just want to see if it's possible, because I've got a horse that can, and we're both young, and I might as well just try and see what happens. But then I still ride in a bridle, and, you know, I said this in my article as well. The first Horse and Hound article was, I have nothing against the tools. It's how they're used and who is using them. So you must get the whips all the time, Ben. The whole whips thing with Liberty horses.
I've got a great demo for that you can nick if you like. When you're doing a demo and someone asks about the whips, ride in a head collar or a bridle and take the reins off.
Yeah.
And then ride around, leaning forward, holding the head collar or the bridle with your hands, and explain how the reins are really vital, just so that you can have your body in the correct position while still manipulating the bit. Yeah. Well, that's the same thing when we're on the plough.
Yeah. Horses have long bodies. We have tall bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's just an extension. And I also would say, I thought it was very cool, and please, I hope I've got this right, but I thought it was very cool that you actually were bold enough to share some videos on your socials that showed that there are people that do neck ropes in a bad way as well.
Yeah. And I've
And
seen
I
it
think
with my own eyes.
Yeah. And so for every horrific gadget you can get in the bitted world, there are horrific gadgets down the other end as well. There are arseholes in every aspect of the industry. And it's what we're against is all of them.
Yeah.
We're against arseholes. Hurrah!
Yay!
But I thought that was really bold of you to do that, because I was like, I wonder,
Well, it calls it out a little bit as well, because I feel, particularly for bridleless riding, it feels like a real, like smoke and mirrors, where they're like, look, I'm riding bridleless in this beautiful harmony and connection with my horse. And actually, I've put a spur collar on it, or a tack collar, where it's literally a leather neck rope with metal prongs poking into the horse. And all right, a horse is going to be bloody light, but it's going to be through a lot of pain pressure, not through any training. It like completely, it's like the total opposite of what we're trying to get across. And then someone's gone and brought that into bridleless riding. You're like, why? How do humans do this with everything that's like beautiful and harmonious and tapping into like that true like oneness with an animal, and we've just bastardized it again somehow. You know, I didn't think it was possible.
Because shortcuts, because humans don't want to take the fucking time to learn something and actually do it properly. Everyone wants
here's
a
our
fucking
pet peeve.
shortcut.
Mine's early.
Go for it.
Yeah, this is my pet peeve. It's early. There. Done.
Yeah.
It's out of the way. This is it.
The one thing I wanted to ask you both. So my main love for the bridleless, whether you just do a bit with it and put it back on, or train with it and then compete, I don't give a shit. What I love about it is, my main gripe as a riding instructor is people balancing on the horse's mouth with their hands. I hate it. For me, it's body, seat, leg, rein. This is the last thing you need. I always say to my students, especially when they're starting out, from the word go, I say, your reins are not your brakes and they are not for steering. Brilliant. They are to help balance the horse, blah, blah, blah. If you ask people, go and do rising trot and don't use and drop your reins. So many people wobble and fall over. Yeah. So for me, just doing a bit of bridleless, even, or like getting people to ride on the buckle and things like that, you're teaching people to ride better. And
have an independent seat.
Yes. And that for me shows, if you can ride without reins, bridle, whatever, it's teaching people to not use their hands and not using the horse's mouth for balance.
I'm going to jump on this here now, because actually this is a really good point about neck ropes. So we were super hot with our rules that if the neck rope came above halfway up the neck and into the throat area, it was immediate elimination. Immediate. Same with the stick.
Okay, so is that where it hurt?
So science, the horse's esophagus is exposed beyond halfway up the neck. Further down, there's huge musculature that protects it, and that's where we put a driving collar. So they actually are designed by nature to push into pressure there, and they push on each other with their chests and shoulders all the time. The benefit about having a neck rope there and sensitizing them to the neck rope, because there aren't many nerve endings there. Fun fact, there are the same amount of nerve endings in the mouth as there are on the nose. So actually, bitless riding technically is in just the same sensitive place, just not in the bit, in the mouth. So, but the neck rope, we're actually going to do a load of studies on this now with WOW saddles about rein pressure, the pressure on the neck, arteries, the esophagus, the muscles. Like, we're going all out into our research behind this, and with vets as well. So this is really exciting. But yeah, so to protect the horses from our one or two bits of equipment we have, the stick, they weren't allowed to make contact on the horse's nose with the stick for pushing turns if they had to use the stick. Only the air around the horse can be pushed. And if the neck rope came above halfway up, elimination immediately, no matter where they were, what they were doing.
That was one thing I didn't know.
Yeah. So
I said it on the last podcast. I was like, what's the science behind the neck rope? But now I know.
Yeah,
I love it.
And technically, when you ride bridleless, you should not be relying on the neck rope. You should be able to do everything without a neck rope. The only reason I have a neck rope is to ask for the self-carriage. So my horse can walk, trot, canter, gallop, sideways, leg yields, everything without a neck rope. But then if I put the neck rope on and I put a feel on the base of his neck, I'm speaking directly to the thoracic sling and saying, can you lift here and collect? And obviously there's a long way to go. He unfortunately had a field injury leading up to the competition too, so he was particularly weak and unfit, and very round, might I add. Spanish horses on lush grass. And but that's been like a really interesting process, that when he gets a little bit unfit, he actually does duck behind the vertical when he's not strong, but he puts himself there and comes straight back out. It's not like he's being held there. It's not like I'm reinforcing or releasing that. That's boogie. It's typical of the breed as well. They often kind of duck behind the contact a lot. And also conformationally, say Lynn's fantastic Hermes, him and Boogie are quite similar conformation. Hermes is a Lusitano. She was our Grand Prix rider. He's got a super short neck, really short neck. So people have commented that her neck rope came a little bit higher. Her neck rope only had to come up like 3 inches and it was halfway up his neck because he's so short. Whereas the warm bloods have much longer necks.
I've got a picture of her here.
Yeah. I mean, Lynn was phenomenal. She was amazing.
Her post as well, while we're on Lynn, very quickly, was brilliant. Her post just kind of like explaining how she's ridden and trained. She's on this journey with the horse. It wasn't just, I took the bridle off and we could do it.
And
I thought she really explained
horse,
in that post.
A well-schooled horse shouldn't have to rely on the reins. Like if you have a really good professional rider and a highly trained horse, you should be able to take the reins away and they can ride bridleless in one session. You know, it's that easy. If your horse is connected to your seat, to your voice, to your leg, you know, all right, it's good to have extra buttons in for training's sake. But, you know, you don't need to rely on the reins at all.
I did feel a bit sad though that she, obviously people have been saying stuff to her because she had to say about her pirouettes could have been smaller. Her seat could have been better, but she'd had a virus. Fuck off and leave her alone. Is what I say to people who've been having a go at her.
Bridleless. Go and ride those movements on the buckle end.
Yeah. Like, obviously, exactly. Didn't mean that she felt she had to say all this stuff. So, in defense of Lynn, if you've got something to say it to me. I'll stick up for her.
I don't think anyone we need to defend Lynn from is really worth
listening,
the airtime of responding to.
Yeah.
So my next question to both of you is, obviously, I commentate on sport and present and travel the world, and these horses that I see are hot as hell. I mean, horses at top level competition, jumping 1.60 m. I mean, they go in there and they are all kinds of nuts and they bloody love the job. And I've seen them love the job. I've seen a few that don't love the job, and I've seen some terrible riders that still manage to ride at top level. But I feel like if you took a bridle off some of those, it would be definitely wall of death. Do you know what I mean? But like you say, a good trained, well-trained horse, it's how... And my issue with that is that the more excited the horse gets and the bigger the competition, the bigger the bits seem to get. And the contractions that seem to be on some of these horses.
That's relying on pain pressure to control. Sorry, the contractions.
Yes, absolutely. So my question to you is, if these riders took more time with their training, even with these very explosive, huge horses, would then the bitting be less, or would the adrenaline of top level competition always override that element? That's my question. That's like, if these riders could take away and learn and do more of this, do you think all of that could be overcome?
What do you think, Ben?
Silence.
I think having
it's...
now sorry,
I think it's just more complex than that, isn't it? As well. It's the entire, like, this, coming back to that same conversation we always have, it becomes about the entire machinery around all the competitions. Do the riders want that horse to be in that class? Do they want to push that horse that hard in that class? Are the owners telling them to? Are they skint? Do they need the money? Do they need, So I think that's a massive side of it. I think it might just mean that there were different horses at the top level, or some horses might not get to the same level that they would in the contractions.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
oh, sorry, it's the buffer. So
no,
anxiety. Oh yeah, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. So Jenny, you said stressed and you said excited. So anxiety and excitement are actually the same chemical reaction in our body, and as mammals we share a very similar nervous system to horses, or it's the same actually. And it's kind of your own attitude that deciphers whether it's positive or negative. So for sure, tapping into play with horses and having an upregulated horse that's playful, excited, and ready to do the job, which is what we do a lot in our liberty work, tapping into that innate desire to play and getting them to perform. Like Ben's got a capriole at Liberty. That's massive, explosive, high adrenaline energy, or would be normally, but because it's playful, it's a positive feeling and it doesn't stress the horse out. So that's like a way to think about it. For sure, I now, having helped Serena with a few of her top level competition horses, all right, they're only up to 140, 145, not yet 160s. Only 145, lol. I've seen it's possible for these really innately quite explosive, spooky, reactive horses be able to, gallop around bridleless and jump bridleless. And everyone has, again, commented on how beautiful and calm Serena's rounds are, and like how together they are.
Yeah, this is Serena Kulic, just for context, guys. Serena Kulic, who she's the one, if you're here because you've been following the bridleless competition, she's on the chestnut jumping the meter 20. I'm right in saying that, aren't I?
Yeah. And Georgie as well, who was also jumping in the 120. She's fantastic, and she's a student of mine as well, and also my horse's physio. So big up Georgie too. She also did a beautiful round. They have to have some positive body tension to perform these bigger, more athletic maneuvers. Now, I haven't jumped to 160 by any standards. I did a round of 90 the other week, and that was my first time jumping a course in 10 years. So woohoo, fun. But I actually had this conversation with the show jumper last week where she was like, okay, so how do you balance athleticism and coiling that spring, which can bring the horse's emotions up, and actually balancing that with relaxation? And that is the constant balance that we're playing with our horses.
Yeah.
So, and I guess maybe these top level Grand Prix horses would be older because they would need more experience, out competing in those environments before they're truly able to be that athletic and still stay relaxed.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, especially with the show jumping world. I mean, you're seeing 9-year-olds now competing in the meter 50. There was two 9-year-olds in the meter 55 that I was commentating on over a couple of weeks ago. The horses are millions, and the pressure to get them to that level by 10 years old. But I do think that if there was some element of this, could we bypass the ridiculous bitting that just is horrible, and that moment in the warm-up where you just see them lose their fucking minds, and having an extra tool to your kit. But I think you're like, obviously, I think the problem is these things then is an extra element of time in the training.
Well, or just sort of more time on the foundation, like start playing them with their basic groundwork and liberty at 2 and 3 years old.
Yeah.
Build that bond and that connection. Because I think I'd like to just remind everybody that at no point did we say, we want everybody at the Olympics bridleless. We want to see, no. But
that's never going to happen.
But a little bit more horsemanship.
Yes.
in an alternate, and when I say horsemanship, I obviously mean alternative horsemanship. Please no one pretend that I'm pretending that John Whittaker and Carl Hester aren't phenomenal horsemen, because they are. But so I think it's more that side of it. And I think something that's positive to say that is that, like, you know, we know that people like Becky Moody have played around with Tristan Tucker TRT and that. You see how well their horses go with it. So we're not even saying these people should be aiming for bridleless, but maybe just a bit more emotional regulation, teaching them to switch off.
And just an openness to also, you're going online show jumping, whether what you don't see in that moment with these horses that are charging at the fences and jumping massively and looking wild, but actually probably enjoying themselves, quite a lot of them sometimes, wearing these big bits. On social media, all you see is the bad. You see people screenshotting these shots, and you were saying a horse at Bridleless becomes behind the vertical, behind the contact. Yeah, your horse. But when you see it without a bridle, you don't worry about it. You go, well, that's where the horse wants to be. You see it with a bridle doing a warm-up dressage, you attack them online. You don't question that horse might be more comfortable and is a perfectly good rider. So what I think would be great is just if the whole world could come together and some of these top riders go, do you know what? I've tried all these different bits. I'm now going to come to Mia or Ben and say, is there something you guys can do to help me with this horse that is becoming such a handful? Because essentially, some of them just love the job so much, they become completely nuts.
But again, in a dream world, can't we help them get them back
sooner,
to ridden away at 3 and 4? Don't make me unpick stitching on a cooked 11-year-old.
Yeah,
like,
will rip your shoulder out. Is being.
But like, that's what we're saying is
to it.
You can help a horse that's got that cooked, but you'll never So I say the two biggest movements I see this in are rearing and PF. You can tell when a horse has been put in the pressure cooker when it learned that, and you can help them, but they never really lose it. So we can obviously help horses that have been but it's if you can instill this a little bit like with a child, how you're brought up will always, there'll be echoes of that throughout your personality for life. So if you can start the horses off the correct way, everything else is so much easier.
That's part of the problem.
That's kind of what I'm saying is the riders being open to it.
Yeah. But we're always the problem solve. No, that's okay. We're always the last solution rather than being somewhere sooner. And, there is so much good content out there now. Ben's got his, method. I've got an academy. There's Tristan's academy. Will's got one. Yvette's got one.
You don't need to glaze over it, Mia. You can check out the Ben Atkinson method or the Heart of Horsemanship Academy at your leisure.
You can at the tip of your fingertips.
I would just like you say, just love for some really top riders to like Becky Moody has. She's come on tour with us and she's gone, I really want to learn more. And she wants to come on our next tour. And she's like, Jenny, but this time I want to do more of the Liberty. I want to do more of it. Just having a few of these riders on social, and there are a few out there, don't get me wrong, there are a few show jumpers who are doing it, but they've already been kind of on that journey a long time. But like you say, just instilling the basics into the early days so the outcome is better. But we need almost for someone to come through the process, don't we? Like someone who's at the next
top level.
And then also you get people like Abby Lyle who can do her Grand Prix stuff on her horse, Tacklet.
Yeah.
And that, I just really want to instill, because I don't want to get anyone's backup. I don't care if I get anyone's backup. I could talk about cyclists again. But what I mean more is, we're not saying one or the other. We're saying, wouldn't it be really, really cool because I can't jump or do dressage like a top competitive rider, but I know horsemanship quite well. So it'd be quite cool if those worlds could collide a bit more and help each other.
Totally agree.
We have been going for quite a long time. I think we should answer a couple of people's questions. Oh my God, we could go forever. We'll just have to do a part 2. So one of the main questions that a lot of people have asked, Mia, is how do you know when the time is right to take off the bridle?
Brilliant question.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. We've kind of already said it. It's when you can walk, trot, canter, stop, turn, go sideways, go backwards, do circles. not just at home, but in another environment as well, even if it's an arena hire, and you do not have to touch your reins. So if you can literally ride on the buckle the entire time, and if you touch your reins once in that ride, in that one moment, that could be the dangerous moment. So if you have to rely on your reins in that moment, that could be when the shit hits the fan. So when you're so confident, and not just the one time that you get a good day and you can ride without touching the reins, repeat that. Make sure you can do it at least 10 good rides where you have not had to touch your reins. If you're doing this on your own at home, which I did too as a young girl, I didn't have any formal instructor for a good 5 years into my natural horsemanship journey, but doing it at home, making sure that you're really thoroughly prepared. If you've got an experienced instructor, and we are going to put a list of approved instructors that we go, yes, they teach bridleless safely, on the British Bridleless competition website as well. So we'll have approved instructors where we're yeah, we know you can teach this well. If someone wants to learn, they can go and have lessons with you. As we've already said, many people have online platforms. There's so many ways you can learn how to do this. And literally, we had everything from a Welsh Section A, Cobs, Lusitanos, oh, so cute, up to all the warm bloods as well. We had every breed of horse there, and they were all competing on the day, being absolutely fantastic. So anyone can do it, but you have to really make sure you are safe first, and that you and your horse have a really high level of understanding and communication.
Get yourself a good Charles Owen hat and a good Charles Owen back protector.
Very good. My granddad used to ban me from riding if I rode without my back protector.
Yeah, too right. Yeah. And they've got some great back protectors now that just even just I wear the one that's like a zip up, gilet, just as an extra little, I call it my windy vest, because I'm getting old now and I'm a bit windy when I'm riding youngsters. Yeah. So this is a question that's been asked by someone, and lots of people have asked this question in lots of ways. I think I know what the answer to this is, but I'm going to let you, because you're far more intelligent than me, Mia. What are the most important aids for bridleless, and how do you teach them?
Well, I mean, me and Ben can talk about this, but yeah. I always say you've got your seat, which includes, so that's your body. Oh, it's just done a thumbs up because I put my thumb up. That's really funny.
That's very clever,
so you've got your seat, which includes your legs, and that's your body language. You've got your neck rope, which, okay, we don't want to have to rely on in the early days, but it's a very good emergency handbrake if you've got a really good backup off of it. You've got your stick, which is how we push the turns in the early days. Push is natural to horses. They understand push. They don't understand pull. But we are pulley grabby creatures. We understand pull, which is why we've created leverage things like reins, ropes, head collars, bits, bridles. So we feel very alien pushing to move a horse, but to them it's completely natural. So they would rather be pushed than pulled, might I add. And then you also have your voice. So Ben, how about you? Mm-hmm. Is that similar, if not the same? I'm sure.
Yeah, pretty much pretty much the same. One thing I always say to people is bridleless riding is still riding.
Yeah, can I just say it's the same whether you've got maybe not so much the stick, because you probably use a bit of your reins for directional, opening it out, not pulling. But body, seat, leg, yeah. Right, bridle, no bridle.
And it's insane how many people are like, oh, I'm crap at riding, I want to go bridleless. You're like, you double bounce your rising trot. No, we need. Yeah. And it's all the other thing I'd add on to that is even the biomechanics of the horse are the same. It's not it's fine to go like this, it's bridleless. No, doesn't matter if you're on the floor, on its back. That all the rules of riding when it comes to how the shape it should be in, the way it should move, all those purest things about dressage still apply. Yeah. All we're changing is we're not having a bridle.
And you can't hide behind your reins. You can't hide your balance.
It is true self-carriage.
And you will get in a sticky... The good thing about the neck rope, and this is where I think it amuses me, you can lean off a horse's mouth And I'm not saying you should, but you can lean off a horse's mouth, and it might make it a bit number like a riding school pony, but you'll still be able to stop and turn. If you lean off a neck rope like a neck strap all the time, one day you'll go to ask for those emergency brakes and they won't be there anymore.
Yeah.
No.
So it will deteriorate faster. And then, like, I think the only thing I'd add that you sort of touched on earlier, Mia, is this is where a Liberty Foundation is amazing because, like, for my horses, they know that if I touch them on the shoulder, they should pirouette around the hindquarters. If I touch the hindquarters, they should move them away. If I touch on the rib cage, they should leg yield away, all from the floor. So when I jump on top, if I'm asking with something with my seat and my legs, and I need a bit of a backup, I can touch the shoulder and the horse goes, oh, I know, shoulders around hindquarters. Or I can touch the inside hind and they know that. So that's where it's,
Yeah, totally
Horses
agree.
are amazing. I forgot all that you said but by the time you'd finished your sentence, I couldn't remember that. So it's amazing. Horses
I am going to add one more thing because I have seen, people teaching emergency stops using a whistle. Now, Ben, I know you have this as well. I can be riding around the arena or even Roman riding around the arena. And if Callum whistles his horses to a stop, my horses stop too.
Zip.
It's a bloody pain and you nearly come off the front. And I can do it to his horses too. So, haha. But an emergency voice aid will fail if your horse is truly in flight. And I had it. We had a country show where they were doing bloody tractor pulling 50 meters from the main arena. They didn't tell us. And I was cantering around Bridleless very happily on Boogie, who's, super safe. Jet engine goes off 50 meters from the arena. My whistle stop ain't working then. Let me tell you. It failed.
Yeah.
I ran back to the gate.
But a bridle wouldn't have worked then, I don't think.
No. So I had to use my stick. All right, it was a little bit ugly, but I was not going to run someone over to stop. I had to push that turn to stop. Down, and all it is a one rein stop, but using your stick. So you're pushing the outside rather than pulling the inside. That's all it is. And then you get control of the situation. Everyone's safe. No one's got run over. Happy days. Off you go again.
Yeah. I have got a really good exercise because, again, don't take your bridle off if you're using your reins for your balance. Mm-hmm. So if you were saying, Ben, that people bouncing their trot. Yeah. So one really good exercise to get yourself better at not relying on your hands. Obviously, if you're doing this, you're a very long way off taking your bridle away. But a fun exercise for someone wanting to try to see how their balance is go up, up, down, down. Do rising trot, but go up, up. Down, down, up, up, down, down. So you stay up for a beat without using your reins for balance. And when you can do that, then go up, 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 down, down, down. So sit for 3, rise, stay up for 3. So if you can stay standing for 2 beats and then sit for 2 beats without slamming on the horse and then try and do it for 3, it's really fucking difficult. So you're basically going, instead of up, down, you're going up, up, down, up, down, and try and stay up for 2 beats and then stay up for 3 beats and sit for 3 and see how many you can do.
It's a very good idea.
The fucking best exercise. It's really fun, especially with kids. And a lot of people, I try and use a neck strap or something like that to help them to start with. But when you can do that, it's a really fun way of just improving your balance of anyone teaching. If you're looking for a fun thing to do and testing people's balance, it's a really good one.
Yeah.
Oh, my guinea pigs are squeaking. I've left them outside.
Love it.
Do you not think that this is so? This all comes back to the same thing, though, that we're just reinventing the wheel. Because if you go to the Spanish riding school in Vienna, all the horses learn everything on the floor first. Yeah. There's your groundwork. And the riders all have to learn to ride without reins and stirrups, and then they graduate to stirrups.
8 years or something on the lunge, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, so it just amuses me because it's like, they were doing it in the 1600s, but we've forgotten it and we've come
We've lost our way.
It's so old, it's come new again. That's the old saying. Yeah. So I think this is where social media has been a good thing, though, because however much we're like, don't slag people off, without it, I wouldn't have heard of this competition. Without this, I wouldn't be so open. I wouldn't have known of Ben. Do you know what I mean? Like, I almost wish I was 20 again so I could start my horse journey all over again and do it better. I want to be better. I have an amazing friend and student who is 83 this year. Sorry, Annette. She got her first horse at 65. and she does all the Liberty. She has the most gorgeous canter pirouettes at Liberty around her and still rides her horse around bridleless everywhere. She is epic. So it's never too late.
Thanks. I'm not that fucking old yet, Mia. Don't worry.
Yeah.
There's so many questions. Let's go for one more. Someone's asking if you're taking on staff and is looking for a job, Mia. One person on Ben's Facebook one, I don't think typical social media didn't read the brief and was asking about your worming routine. So
yeah, another one that fell into that category was, can you ask Mia which plants are poisonous to horses? I was like, no, you can DM her for that. She'll know.
Because actually, I'm really good at that. I know everything.
Yeah,
about
I know you're good at it.
Yeah.
But we cannot go this far off track into a botany lesson.
No, not today. Not today.
Oh, there's so many. Like, I'm 55, had a 13-year break from riding and just about to start lessons hacking again. Any advice on how to incorporate kinder riding and handling into the more traditional horse world? So what I'm going to translate from that is she's obviously getting back into riding, going to traditional riding centre to start riding again, but obviously wants to learn this as well. How, if you are, that's a great question actually from how I'm interpreting it. How, if you are going for just your normal riding school lessons and if they're not open to this, how would you advise someone if they don't have their own horses, someone like myself, of how I learn and everything, and you're riding school horses, but you can see that you're learning this online. How do people incorporate it without pissing people off? There is nothing worse than going to an older riding school that's been there forever and saying to them, oh, do you think you should be training your horses like this? That is going to get you banned.
That's what me and Mia do all the time.
And if anyone's met some of the traditional type riding instructors, that is one way to get someone's back up. How do we maybe help? Because teaching people to be better is going to help riding school horses, and I'm so passionate about making happy lives, because these riding school horses, they just give people so much. For some people, it's their 1 hour of the week they look forward to, and it's just riding schools are dying, and I really wish they weren't, because it's what got me into horses. So I'd love for these worlds to come together.
Yeah, that is really hard. It's a very hard question. I would say educate themselves as much as they can, away from the riding school as well. So have some, really good theory behind what you're trying to do. And maybe, it's so hard because I'm like, maybe just try riding without holding the reins so tight, but then you'll get shouted at for having washing line reins. That's
reins,
really hard
outside
question.
rein, half halt.
Inside leg to outside rein.
Yeah.
I would say what we were saying earlier is the biggest difference between bridleless and traditional riding, the only difference really, is the reins. So even if you have to speak to your instructor about, even if you have to twist the truth, I really struggle riding with my seat and my legs. I'd really, really like to focus on my seat and my legs. Like, if your dream is to one day ride bridleless, could you have some lunge lessons without the reins?
Yeah.
Could you, try and tick off the other boxes? Because if by the time you eventually get a horse on loan or have a chance to play around with something to train bridleless, but you've got incredible balance, you really understand your seat and your legs. I'd also say a basic to middling understanding of lateral work is going to be useful for you as well, because the more you can move the horse's body, the more malleable it is, the more options you've got for movement once you are bridleless.
Because riding schools and a lot of places. I mean, I ran riding schools for years, and it is hard. You do stuff your way and how you've done stuff, and to have some youngster who's read something on social media or someone who's found you through, do you know what I mean? And going, this is how I think you should be doing it.
Yeah,
it is hard because you're going to get people's backs up, and it's trying to get the words across without saying that someone's doing something wrong and insulting how they've been doing it for years. Because again, you look at BHS and how they've taught stuff, and do you know what I mean?
Well,
and everyone's just trying their hardest and doing their best.
I had a really fun kind of flip of that, where last year I provided horses for a very crazy Bollywood job, And we stayed at beautiful riding stables that was a BHS stables. And, I met the owners, I met the guys that run it. They were fab. And, I'm sure they've never, they were amazed that the horses could stand on their lawn in the middle of nowhere under 3 actors that were hanging, with their tippy toes on my horse, and my horse has to piaffe under the actors and then gallop out from underneath them to kill them. It was mad. And they were leading their riding school horses to and fro, being like, what the hell? They were great. They were brilliant people. But they were a BHS yard and part of the BHS fellowship. And they released a statement on have a go and how to ride bridleless. And I was like, you guys don't know how to ride bridleless. Like, I love that you're trying to support it. Thank you. But actually, this isn't really the best post about how to ride bridleless. And it might it's like the complete flip of what you've just said. So it was, that was then
they're embracing it too much.
Oh, yeah. And like,
woe the pony.
Maybe, yeah. So, but that was like a mad kind of crossing of worlds there. And, on the same thing, if you really, really want to learn how to ride bridleless, go get your theory and your like knowledge as good as you can, and then go and find a really good instructor. Easy.
Yeah, because I don't know if there's any riding schools out there that do liberty with their horses. So everyone, I'm guessing, you teach brings their own horses.
Yeah. And
I'm sure there is. I just don't know of any. Because where I found
so cross so quickly. If you think normal riding school ponies get peeved, because the difference is, no matter how cross the riding school pony is, the kid's strapped to it, aren't they? They're in the saddle, they've got the reins. Liberty's so hard because if you start putting randoms in with them, and if the horse is really confused or it's getting annoyed, it just leave.
Yeah, I've seen it with Silly Prune on our tour.
And she was trying really hard.
Oh,
but Ollie and Romeo did get a little bit like, what do you want, woman? Like, what on earth?
One time, Romeo tried to bite her.
Oh my God, Romeo!
Yeah, he was so angry.
She was just a little bit. She did really well, and she was amazing, and we love Silly Prune. So this is not me being mean to her in any way.
Oh no, it's nothing we haven't said to her face.
Do you know when? You'll know what I mean. Do you know when someone's whip control becomes faffage, and they're just kind of dusting? And she was asking him to lay down, and he was just dusting everywhere. And he was like, "What do you want? Spanish walk, lay down, back, look. What do you want?" And then he bit her. Well, he tried to bite her.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to see this, our tour is a link to our tour is in the episode description. It's very worth watching because she then does, I think, do the first ever Liberty unicycle with a horse.
Yeah, she does do.
So, Mia, do you have a what's annoyed you this week?
I think you probably already touched on it earlier. What was that again? I can't even remember now what we've spoken about because there's been so much. But when I was like, that's it, it's that. I don't know. What's annoyed me this week? Also, when people email in a question when it's on the website, that annoys me. Because I'm like, if you read the website, it actually says it on the website. So half of me is like that, where I'm like, la, 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 I'll just message them and ask. But equally, if it's something I'm really interested in, I will have researched it to with an nth degree before I go in and ask a question. So I understand. I have both sides as well. But like, most of this information's on the website. Read it. Don't ask silly. No.
When you're organising, like when we organised the tour, there is such a thing as a silly question. It's people messaging going, "Hi, what time does your event finish? Because I've got a dog sitter coming in and I want to know what time to get back to them." It's on the website. Oh, what time do the doors open? Because I want to know how long my journey's going to take from work. 0 fucks given. It's on the website.
It's on the website.
By the time you took to write this message, you could have checked your ticket or the website. So yes, no, that annoys me as well. Benjamin, what has annoyed you, my love? You seem like you're very happy. I don't you look very annoyed this week.
No, I'm pretty good. How pathetic people are about my views on cyclists. That's quite annoying. I've not really been that annoyed, really. I got my Liberty team out to work them today and got stopped on 6 separate occasions, and not even
that's not okay.
Not in a nasty way, but not even for anything. Like, people just like, oh, hi, good morning, just come for a chat. And I'm like,
not now.
Why?
Any other time.
Not now.
No. Like, Liberty team is like the ultimate mental concentration and focus and flow state. And if someone interrupts you, it better be important. 100%. I totally feel that.
Even more than that, this part of the day, that time working that team of horses, I'm like, guys, you realise that this is the reason I do all the other bullshit. Like, everything else about my job exists just so I can do this. Yeah. So this is like the one part of the day. This is me enjoying my special thing, and it's also my job. Like, and that is, I think that. I'll refine this a bit more. It annoys me that because the main part of my job is performing with that Liberty team, and because I enjoy doing that so much, people really struggle to see it as me working.
Oh.
It's treated the same way as if I was sat in the living room on my Xbox. If I was sat in the living room on my Xbox playing a game and someone came in, I'd pause it, I'd stop. I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, fine. I can put this to the side. But, like, not only is the Liberty team my passion, it's also my work. And just no one in an office or whatever, not no one, but do you know what I mean? When other people are at work, you leave them alone. You let them work. So, that's what's annoyed me this week. Yeah.
Love it.
I can see that'd be quite annoying. Oh, what's annoying me? Oh, I don't know why I leant so into the camera then. I got very serious. What can I change my what's annoyed me to what's upset me?
No, that's painful though. But yeah.
Literally one of the worst moments ever. So we live in, we're about to move, but we live in like, there's lots of townhomes in like a big square. And right opposite ours is a big patch of grass and people's kind of houses back onto it. And we can walk through across the grass along a footpath, and then we're down at a creek. So I had my collapsible chair on my back, my bright pink sunglasses on, and my son was walking along the path ahead of me alongside these houses. And out of a bush jumped a dog that went to attack him. Teeth, ears back. Now, I've worked with enough rescue dogs and dogs in my life to know the difference between a dog just jumping up and saying hi, or even being a bit spooked, to a dog trying to bite your child. I mean, there were teeth, mouth was opened. The only thing that stopped this dog from actually attaching its jaws into my son's arm was A, my son was quick enough to dodge. B, it was on like a long lead, so it could go on the grass, but the lead kind of ran out. Yeah. So literally, like, you saw the snap go. And also my little dog, Maverick, who is nearly 14, charged at this fucking dog and went into the dog's shoulder, like, like properly. So pushed him off at the pass. So if those things hadn't happened, James would have properly got savaged. I know that sounds like a lot of things. Didn't, but in that split second, this dog nearly connected with my son.
Yeah.
And this woman jumped up. She was obviously sat sunbathing, older woman. And I am not joking. I know it sounds like I'm a very shouty, angry person, but I don't actually do confrontation. I'm always very like, oh, if I upset you, I'm so sorry. Or if I've done someone else has done something wrong, I hate it. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I have never screamed at someone like this in my life.
Yeah.
I didn't know I could scream that loudly. Like, Gregor and I don't even have shouting arguments. We argue, but we don't, like, we've never screamed. You know how you see people slamming doors and screaming out of the house? We don't do that.
Yeah.
I lost my fucking mind. I was like, fucking dog is what? Your dog's just tried to attack my son, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, her first one was, well, kids and dogs need to live here together in harmony. Well, you can imagine how well I took that excuse. You took that. Yeah, she didn't apologise. I was screaming. I cannot tell you how much I was screaming. Her then second, when I carried on screaming, she went, your son took my dog by surprise. Are you fucking kidding me? And then when I said to her, I stared at her, I went, what would you have done if that was your son and that dog had tried to attack? She then went, oh, I'm sorry, but doesn't normally do stuff like this. And I was just like, so I'm there screaming. The husband then comes out to wonder what the noise is, sees me because I've had to pick up Maverick because Maverick's still trying to go for this dog. I was so proud of my dog.
Is Maverick a Jack
James
Russell
is crying.
by any chance?
He is we don't know. We found Maverick in a bin, but he's like a Jack Russell cross. 1 second, I'll show you. 1 second.
He's so little and old, bless him.
Oh, and he was protecting his person. Oh, he's so cute. I'm gonna pick my dog
So
up.
for the YouTube people, if you want to see what Maverick looks like, get him on YouTube. So this is this is Maverick, my superior fighter pilot.
He's gorgeous.
So Maverick. So I was holding Maverick and the husband came out and my husband's standing there as well. And he looked at my husband and went, I won't talk to her. I'll only talk to you. To my husband, because I'm hysterical. Yeah. I can imagine how well that went down. So my husband then went, do not disrespect my wife. And they were just not taking ownership. If they'd have said, Jesus Christ, we didn't know the dog had this in them. We are so sorry. We will never let this happen again. I would have calmed down quite quickly. But the fact it was excuse after excuse after excuse, not realizing that this dog is dangerous. So anyway, I then said to the woman, if I see that dog off a lead without a muzzle on it, I will report this dog to the police and have it destroyed. And I genuinely mean that. You cannot have a dog like that around children. We're in a neighbourhood where if that had been there's toddlers that toddle down there. Yeah. If that had been a toddler, that toddler would have been bitten in the face. 100%.
No way.
And I'm not exaggerating. I've seen dogs kind of go and like be spooked, but this dog was trying to bite my son. And anyway, when I said that to her, she went, are you threatening me? And I said, no, my love, I am not threatening you. I am promising you. And she then went, ugh. And I was screaming so much that the drunk guy that lives next door came out to find out what the problem was. And then he said, what's the matter? And then they went, oh, she's talking about our dog doing something. Well, you can imagine. Then that was it. I kicked off again. You need to take ownership of this. Your dog is a fucking Anyway, I went nuts. So anyway, I was like, it's obviously not getting through to them. They went inside. I went down to the creek and dunked myself in glacial ice water to calm down. Perfect. Trying not to cry. My son is crying. My son is hysterical and he loves animals. So we get back home and I then burst into tears on Gregor. I was shaking, like properly shaking. I couldn't and I said to Gregor, I cannot leave this like this. I can't sleep tonight knowing that dog and they are not taking ownership. I was like, I can't go round there, but can you go round and just see if you can get through to them that this dog cannot be on a long lead or even be in this neighbourhood round this many children. So Gregor went and knocked on the door and the husband came down and he shut the door behind him, like looking to make sure the wife wasn't in earshot. And he said, I'm so sorry. And Gregor was like, what? Gregor was expecting a fight. Gregor was like, should I put my wife beater top on and go for it? So when the man had come out, he thought it was just Maverick and the dog having a to-do, and I was losing my mind over that. He didn't realise what had happened. And he went, I've been telling my wife this dog can't be on a long lead. It's a rescue dog. I never trust any dog. You can never 100% trust the dog. Totally on our side. Totally was like, cannot believe it. I'm so sorry. It's my son's dog. My wife needs to realise that she can't make excuses for it. So he was like, and to be fair, and I think they've given it back to the son. So in that respect, the husband came round and was like, no, you were totally justified in screaming at her. I'm my wife. But it's so hard, isn't it? It's a prime example of people not seeing, and the same in the horse world, the same with everything, understanding animal behaviour and reading the signs. Yeah. If you think your dog is going to get spooked, don't let it sleep in a fucking hedge next to where people walk. So that's what's annoyed me. Yeah. People not understanding the cues that any animal will give you when it's upset. Anyway, so that was my very traumatic.
That's terrifying.
Oh, it's so awful. James didn't sleep. I had to sleep in my bed that night.
Oh, bless him. That is a big one, Jenny. Yeah, trying to protect.
I thought Gregor was going to have a big Scottish punch-up on the
did as well.
grass.
I know. So, Ben, I've never
Terrifying.
seen you looking so shocked.
Well, it's just really scary. Like when you see those like pictures of kids that have been mauled and stuff, and kids get killed by dogs.
Awful.
You know?
I know.
It's terrible. Was it a
awful.
corgi?
It wasn't a corgi.
That would have been, for the podcast, that would have been bloody perfect if it was a corgi.
It would have been, wouldn't it?
You go walking in the woods with the bears all the time.
Not worried about bears.
Savaged by a dog.
Yeah. Not worried. The bears you can predict. Yeah. Yeah. But I do not deserve this little dog.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
Isn't it amazing though? From that though, makes you realise like Maverick doesn't have a vicious bone in his body, but how dogs are like your biggest champions, and just like we don't deserve them, these animals. How amazing that he is. I would say he was a third of the size of that dog, if not less, a quarter. And yet he doesn't think twice about how big he is in that moment. He just protects his human. I mean, how amazing is that? Like,
at 14 as well. It's amazing.
Oh, you know.
My dog's trying to catch flies right now. She's just snapping at flies on the sofa.
That fly might be trying to attack you, Mia. Yeah.
I think my spaniel is definitely going to protect me. She's coming on as well.
The most Maverick's ever attacked before in the past is a slightly aggro spider. So, right.
Bless them.
Oh, I feel like this will not be the last time we have you on, Mia. I feel like there's so much you're going to take forward with this. Are you planning another competition? That's another question.
This is the biggest question. That's the biggest question that has been asked. So, yes. We're looking for a venue in October to host us. So we need an indoor arena and ideally an indoor warm-up. That's what we all love. With good seating, because we had to turn people away on the day. People were watching it on Horse and Country and then driving to the venue and trying to watch it live. And we were full. We couldn't fit anyone else in for the daytime show. So we need a lot of spectator space as well. And then someone that will let us do it as well. That's another thing. Like, are the venues really going to be up for us to do this? And then we are planning to actually form an association. So myself, Lila Cansfield, who was our relationship judge on the day for the dressage as well. So we also had 2 judges. This is where I'm like, oh my God, I've forgotten to talk about so much, but I'll try and keep it short. So myself, Lila Cansfield, Tracy Duncan and Miri Hackett are all rallying to put together an official association now, have like a yearly membership, run a series of competitions leading up to a championships, and we will be introducing other disciplines too. Just please bear with us, because the dressage and the show jumping was hard enough to manage in one day.
And it just seemed like such a good, wholesome, really lovely event that was bringing people together in a really in a way where it wasn't like, oh my God, it's all about winning a bucket and a rug. It was just about enjoying yourselves. That's what I got from it. So I just think that is wonderful as well.
And the horse is having a good time, because we can finish on a good quote. When you take off the halter or the bridle, you're left with one thing, and that's the truth. So that is the truth of your relationship, your partnership, and your training. And, that is the epitome of that competition, totally.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's very good. That was
brilliant.
A bit of Ben,
I don't know who made it.
That was,
I have a lot of
that's
quotes.
The kind of thing you come out with, Ben. Oh, we love it. We should have you and Ben should have a quote off.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Quotes are good.
But honestly, Mia, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for everything you're doing and have done for the horse world. I can't wait to see how this develops. And maybe if you can hold a bloody competition on a date where I'm not performing, I'll come.
Oh,
but
no.
I wanted to enter the last one, and I looked at the date, and I was like, I'm literally performing that day. But one day.
Yeah. Well, maybe October, because show season's a bit quieter.
Yeah? I'll be free in October.
Yeah, that would be good.
All right. Amazing. Well, I'll let you two sort out your bloody diaries off air.
Yeah.
But Mia, all that is left to say is just carry on doing what you're doing. Good luck. Thank you. And quite frankly, shut up and ride.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you.